banished by the Galactic Council. Humanity embraced expansion instead of loss. Alex Carter stood in the main hall of the Galactic Council chamber. The walls were tall, smooth, and glowing, with a soft light that made everything look larger than it was. Thousands of species from across the galaxy had gathered here, each watching the humans with quiet curiosity or open suspicion. Some whispered, some stared, and some avoided looking at humans at all. The council itself floated at the center, three massive figures with long arms and many eyes, observing with a calm and unreadable expression. Alex felt the weight of history on his shoulders. Humanity's fate was about to be decided. Alex glanced at the other human delegates. Ben Hall looked tense, tapping his fingers on the table, while Emma Brooks whispered instructions to the younger members. No one spoke too loudly. Humanity had never been in a position like this before. They were not asking for permission, they were standing accused. And the council's judgment could mean the end of everything they had built. "Humans," the lead counselor said, its voice like wind through metal. "You have grown too fast. Your expansion, your technology, and your adaptability have caused concern across many systems. You act without consideration for other species, and your presence threatens stability. We cannot allow it to continue." Alex felt a cold weight settle in his chest. He had expected harsh words, but not this clear a condemnation. The council was not even negotiating. They were giving a verdict. He stood straighter, keeping his voice calm. "We do not intend harm. Humanity expands because we survive and grow."
"We do not seek conflict. Your intentions are irrelevant," the counselor continued.
"Your actions have consequences. Therefore, the council has decided that humanity must leave known space. You will be banished beyond the mapped borders."
"You may continue, but only in isolation."
A murmur ran through the chamber. Some aliens clapped softly, pleased that the humans were being controlled. Others frowned, sensing that the council had made a decision that could be dangerous. Alex swallowed. Exile was severe. It meant leaving behind hundreds of worlds, colonies, and allies. It meant leaving the council's protection and stepping into unknown space. Many believed humans could not survive. Alex, however, did not speak these thoughts aloud. He knew humans were resilient, even in the face of what seemed impossible. After the ruling, the humans gathered quietly in their ship, discussing what they would do. "They think this is the end," Ben Hall said, shaking his head. "They think we will fail." Emma Brooks looked at him, her eyes calm but strong.
"They are wrong. Humans do not give up."
"We will leave, yes, but we will not die. We will survive, and we will grow." Alex nodded. "We have always adapted. This is only another challenge. The council wants to see humans destroyed or controlled, but we will not let them succeed." Preparations began immediately. Earth's fleets and colonies worked together to gather resources. Massive ships were built, not just warships but transports, science vessels, and mobile cities. Every human in the colonies was given a role. Those skilled in engineering, agriculture, medicine, and navigation were assigned tasks that would be critical in the unknown. It was a time of panic and hope mixed together. People worried, but they also worked harder than ever before. Fear pushed them, but so did determination. On the last day before departure, Alex walked through the main command ship. Crew members moved quickly, preparing for the jump into unknown space.
"Lucy Grant, a systems engineer, check the engines and navigation systems one last time."
"We will survive," she said quietly to Alex, who nodded. Children waved from the observation decks, not fully understanding what was happening. They were leaving the worlds they knew, some of them leaving behind friends and family. Yet they felt excitement as well. Humans had always been explorers. This was a new adventure, even if it was forced. As the countdown began, Alex stood on the bridge.
"All systems ready," he said. His voice echoed through the empty space of the command deck.
The ship hummed with energy, engines glowing softly. He felt a thrill of fear and pride. Humanity had faced wars, disasters, and famine before, but never exile from the galaxy itself. The jump would take them beyond the map space, beyond known stars. Some wondered if anything lived out there, and others hoped there was something waiting to be found. The jump was smooth. For a moment the stars stretched and twisted, then disappeared into a bright tunnel of light. When it ended, the ships emerged into darkness, surrounded by stars that were unknown. Alex felt a mix of awe and relief. Humanity had survived the Council's punishment. They were free, but freedom came with uncertainty. Every ship checked its systems, confirmed its supplies, and prepared to explore. Ben Hall spoke over the comms. "We need to settle our first base. We cannot just drift. The children, the elderly, and everyone else needs a home." Emma Brooks studied the scanners. There is a small star system nearby. Planets are uninhabited, but conditions are harsh. It will be our first trial. Exploration teams left the ships in smaller vessels, studying the planets. They mapped the gravity, measured the atmosphere, and checked for water. Jack Morris, a lead scout, reported quickly. "One planet has breathable air, but very little water. Another has ice caps, but storms are extreme. The third is rocky and barren."
Alex nodded. "We will adapt."
Humans are not strangers to harsh worlds. We build, we grow, and we survive. We take what is here and make it ours. This is not the end. Meanwhile, rumors began to spread across the galaxy. Alien species who had been near Council space spoke of the human fleets vanishing, leaving the Council's boundaries behind. Whispers said that humans had been sent away, but some wondered if this punishment could backfire. Humans were resourceful, aggressive in their survival, and quick to learn. If the Council thought exile would weaken humanity, they were mistaken. Back on the first planet, humans began setting up habitats. Tents, prefabricated buildings, and mobile factories rose from the ground. Lucy Grant oversaw the energy systems, making sure that power could be maintained. Crops were planted using earth, soil, and hydroponic techniques. Even in harsh conditions, humans were alive, working, and talking to each other with quiet optimism. It was exhausting work, but no one complained. Fear had been replaced by purpose. Alex walked among the workers. He saw children learning to handle basic engineering tools, women teaching medicine, and men preparing the ships for the next stage of exploration. It was the beginning of a new society, small, fragile, but filled with energy and determination. Humans had lost the protection of the galaxy, but they had not lost hope. Even nights were different. The sky had unfamiliar constellations, strange colors, and silent black stretches where no star shone. Yet humans adapted to the darkness, placing lights and shields, creating safety in a world that had no rules. Alex spent some nights on the observation deck, staring at the stars and thinking of home. Earth felt far away, but the future was closer. Humans had a chance to create something new, something stronger. Messages were sent back to Earth's old colonies, explaining progress and asking for supplies. Some replied slowly. Others were too far to respond. Still, humans did not wait. They had learned long ago that survival meant acting first. Supplies were rationed, skills were shared, and everyone contributed to exploration, research, and defense. Rumors of hostile species in the unknown reached them, but humans did not hesitate. They were ready to fight, but they preferred to understand first. Knowledge would be their weapon. Alex knew the Council had expected failure. They had expected humans to panic, to scatter, to die in isolation. But humans had done something no one expected. They worked together. They built, they explored, and they learned. Ben Hall and Emma Brooks often said the same thing. We survive because we cannot accept failure. We thrive because we refuse to give up. Weeks passed. Small fleets left the first planet to explore further systems. Jack Morris led a team that discovered a strange moon with glowing crystals. Lucy Grant tested the energy potential of these crystals, finding that they could power the ships for long journeys. Humans had found hope, even in exile. Every discovery strengthened their confidence. At the end of the first year in exile, humanity had established multiple colonies across 5-star systems. Habitats were simple but livable. Ships were repaired, expanded, and redesigned. Scientists, engineers, and children alike were learning skills they never thought they would need. Alex walked through the colonies and smiled quietly. Humanity had not only survived, they had begun to grow. The Council had expected weakness, but humans had found strength.
In a quiet moment, Alex and Ben Hall watched the twin suns set on one of the new planets. They thought this would destroy us, Ben said.
Instead, it made us stronger. Alex nodded. They don't understand humans. They never have. We do not give up. We adapt, we grow. One day they will see that banishment only taught us how to fly. Nora King, who led the defense teams, was training a group of young recruits to handle small skirmishes with local wildlife. Some creatures were dangerous, with claws, teeth, or strange toxins. Humans did not hunt them for sport. They studied, learned, and defended themselves when needed. Paul Rivers, a young historian, walked beside Alex. Humans adapt in ways other species cannot, he said. We learn, we share knowledge, and we survive even when everything seems impossible. The Council will never understand us. Alex smiled. We do not need them to understand. We only need to live and to grow stronger. One day, a small scout team discovered ruins on a rocky planet. They were old, alien, and filled with strange symbols. The team sent reports back to Alex. He gathered experts, including Lucy Grant and Paul Rivers, to examine the ruins. These ruins suggest an advanced species lived here long ago, Lucy said. Technology we cannot yet understand. They might have been extinct for thousands of years. Alex nodded. Then we will learn from them. Humans are quick learners. If they left knowledge behind, we will use it. The discovery boosted human morale. For the first time in exile, humans felt a connection to the galaxy. It was a reminder that even if the Council had tried to limit them, life beyond the mapped borders had stories to tell, and humans were ready to listen and grow. Exploration continued, and with each new planet, humans became more skilled. Lucy Grant developed systems to generate energy from crystal formations found on alien moons. Jack Morris discovered creatures that could survive extreme conditions, teaching humans about adaptability.
Alex Carter coordinated fleets and colonies, making sure every group shared knowledge.
The young and old, men and women, engineers and farmers, scientists and soldiers, all contributed to the growing human society. One evening, as two suns set on a distant planet, Alex and Emma Brooks watched children playing near the colony's water supply. They were laughing, their voices ringing across the rocky plains. Emma said quietly, "Do you think they will ever know what it felt like on Earth?" Alex looked at the children and smiled. Maybe not, but they will know what it feels like to survive, to explore, to be free. That is stronger than any memory of home. Life in exile was not easy. Storms destroyed buildings, equipment failed, and sometimes scouts went missing. Yet humans did not despair. Each failure became a lesson, each challenge a way to grow stronger. They learned to read alien weather patterns, to grow crops in frozen soil, to extract water from deserts, and to harness strange energy sources. As months passed, humans began to expand in multiple directions. Small fleets carried colonists to distant planets. Some ships were large mobile cities, capable of supporting thousands. Others were smaller research vessels, exploring planets for resources and life. Humanity moved forward, always curious, always learning, always surviving. During one exploration, Jack Morris and his team discovered a forest planet, thick with strange trees that glowed faintly at night. The air was breathable but rich in unknown chemicals. Jack sent samples back to Lucy Grant, who quickly devised filtration systems for humans. This planet became the first long-term agricultural colony outside their initial systems. Humans planted Earth crops, but also experimented with alien flora. The combination produced stronger plants, resistant to extreme weather and disease. In the fleet, Alex called a council of human leaders. "We are not just surviving," he said. "We are learning, growing, and preparing. The galaxy outside may have dangers, but humans have always faced danger before. we will turn it into opportunity. Nora King added, our defense teams are stronger than ever. We are ready if hostile species appear. We fight only when necessary, but we fight well. Paul Rivers said, and our historians, scientists, and engineers are turning every discovery into knowledge. Humanity is no longer limited by Earth or Council space. We are free to expand and adapt. Lucy Grant smiled. And we have the tools to make life sustainable anywhere we go. Energy, water, food, all of it can be managed. Humans will thrive here. Their first year of expansion ended with a celebration. Humans had established colonies on more than 10 planets. Children played in safe areas, adults shared stories, and families gathered in small buildings that glowed warmly against the alien nights. Humans felt hope, a hope stronger than fear. They had faced exile, and instead of loss, they had embraced growth. During the celebration, Alex stood quietly, looking at the stars. He thought about the Galactic Council and their warnings. They had wanted humans to fail, to be weak, to vanish in exile. Instead, humans were learning, surviving, and becoming stronger. He knew that one day, the Council would realize that exile had not destroyed humanity. It had freed them. In the months that followed, humans encountered other alien species who lived in the frontier regions. Some were hostile, some curious, and some helpful. Humans learned quickly to communicate, to study alien behavior, and to adapt. Lucy Grant devised new communication systems, combining mathematics and sound patterns to speak with species that had no common language. Alex sent explorers to observe without provoking, to learn before acting. Humanity grew stronger, not by conquering, but by understanding and adapting. One day, a scout team discovered a planet covered in ice and rock, with strange magnetic storms. It was almost uninhabitable. Yet Jack Morris insisted on sending a team. There is always something to learn, he said. Humans built shelters, experimented with new energy sources, and survived. The lessons learned here helped them adapt to other harsh worlds. Through all this, the message from the Council was never far from their minds. They were exiles, cast out because others feared their strength. But humans did not see it as punishment. They saw it as freedom. Every new system, every colony, every discovery was proof that humanity could thrive anywhere. Alex watched a convoy of ships leave a new colony, carrying supplies and colonists to distant systems. He thought of Earth, of the Council, of the worlds left behind. They were far away now, but humanity had learned a lesson. Strength came not from approval, but from action. Humans could survive and grow without permission. As the first year of true expansion ended, humans had not only survived, they had begun to master the frontier. Lucy Grant's energy systems were installed on multiple colonies, providing steady power. Nora King's defense teams were trained and ready. Jack Morris's scouts had mapped dozens of new worlds. Paul Rivers documented every discovery, creating knowledge that would guide humanity for generations. Alex knew that humanity's exile was not the end. It was the beginning of a new chapter. Humans had embraced the unknown, and in doing so they had become stronger, smarter, and more united than ever before. No council, no law, no obstacle could stop them. In the quiet of the observation deck, Alex whispered to himself, "The council sent us away because they feared us. But in exile, we have found our true strength. This is only the beginning." The stars outside shone brighter than ever. Filled with possibilities, humanity was ready to explore, to learn, and to grow. The unknown was no longer a threat. It was an opportunity. Years passed, and humanity had grown far beyond what anyone had imagined. Alex Carter stood on the bridge of the largest human command ship, watching the countless stars of unknown space. The fleets had expanded into hundreds of ships, colonies stretched across dozens of systems, and humans had learned to survive almost anywhere. Every challenge only made them stronger. Nora King was busy training the defense teams. She walked among recruits who practiced combat and strategy simulations. "We fight only when we must," she said, "but we are ready for anything." Humans survive because we act and learn quickly.
The recruits nodded, proud of their skills and determined to protect their new homes.
Lucy Grant worked with engineers to adapt alien technologies discovered on derelict ships and abandoned colonies. She had learned to combine human ingenuity with foreign systems. Engines ran more efficiently, energy grids were stronger, and shields could withstand even harsh cosmic storms. Each invention gave humanity another edge in the frontier. Jack Morris led exploration teams farther into the uncharted regions. Some planets were hostile, with toxic atmospheres or violent weather. Others were home to strange creatures, unlike anything humans had seen. Jack taught his scouts to study, observe, and survive. Every discovery added knowledge, and knowledge became humanity's strength. One day, a scout ship returned with news of a planet covered in towering forests of strange, glowing plants. The air was breathable but thick with unknown pollen, Jack reported cautiously. We should study it carefully. There might be dangers we cannot see. Alex nodded. Prepare a small research team. Take nothing more than you need. Humans survive because we adapt, not because we rush blindly. The research team landed carefully. They moved slowly, studying the forest and the creatures that lived there. Some were small and harmless, but others were predators with sharp claws and keen senses. Humans avoided direct conflict at first, observing patterns and behavior. Slowly, they learned to harvest resources from the forest, gather food, and use the plants for medicine. Paul Rivers documented every step. This knowledge will help humans for generations, he said. We are not only surviving, but we are growing stronger and smarter. Back in the fleet, reports came in from other colonies. Some had discovered minerals that could power ships for months. Others had found ice-rich planets perfect for water extraction. Every system added resources, technology, and experience. Humanity was building a network of colonies, ships, and knowledge that stretched farther than any other species dared to go. Alex called a meeting of human leaders. Ben Hall, Emma Brooks, Lucy Grant, Nora King, Jack Morris, and Paul Rivers gathered around a table. We have grown stronger in the frontier, Alex said. The council sent us away because they feared us. Now they will see what humanity can do when free. Emma Brooks smiled. We do not seek revenge. We seek growth. We survive, we learn, and we thrive. Ben Hall nodded. And we are ready for any challenge. The frontier has tested us, and we have adapted. Humans are no longer weak, and we will not be ignored. Lucy Grant added, our technology is advancing. Engines, shields, energy systems. We can sustain life anywhere. Humans are strong, not because of what we have, but because of how we learn and adapt. Nora King spoke quietly but firmly. And our defense teams are ready. We protect our people and our colonies. Any threat will be met, but we prefer knowledge and preparation before conflict. As the fleets continued to explore, humans encountered other alien species. Some were curious, some hostile, and some avoided contact. Alex made it clear that humans would act cautiously. They would observe first, adapt, and only engage when necessary. Over time, even the most suspicious species began to recognize humanity's strength and intelligence. One day, scouts discovered a system with remnants of an ancient civilization. Large structures floated in space, damaged by time, but still intact. Paul Rivers was thrilled. These ruins tell stories of species that once ruled here, he said. We can learn from them and grow stronger. Lucy Grant examined the structures. The technology here is advanced. Some parts are beyond our understanding, but we can adapt many of the systems. This will give humanity an advantage in energy and defense. Alex approved small, careful teams to study the ruins. Humans moved slowly, learning everything they could. They built new ships, stronger than before, using the knowledge gained from these discoveries. Every improvement made them more capable of surviving and expanding further into the unknown. As decades passed, humanity's presence in the frontier grew more powerful. Ships carried supplies, colonists, and knowledge to distant worlds. The fleet was organized, disciplined, and ready. Every colony had schools, research centers, energy stations, and defense teams. Children grew up learning to survive, explore, and understand the galaxy. Humans were no longer just surviving, they were thriving. The Galactic Council, far away, began to hear rumors of human strength. Traders, explorers, and even spies reported sightings of human fleets, colonies, and discoveries. The Council had thought exile would weaken humanity. Instead, humans had grown stronger, smarter, and more resourceful. Alex and his team realized that the frontier was no longer just a place of survival. It was a place of power. Humans had discovered new energy sources, learned to communicate with alien species, and adapted to planets that no one else dared to inhabit.
They were ready for challenges that the Council could not imagine.
One day, Jack Morris reported an encounter with a hostile alien species. They were large, fast, and armed with powerful weapons. The scout ship sent messages to the fleet for backup. Humans did not panic. They analyzed the enemy, observed patterns, and prepared strategies. When the aliens attacked, human defense teams used knowledge and preparation to defend themselves. They did not seek to destroy, but they were ready to act. The enemy was defeated without unnecessary loss. Alex looked at the battle reports and smiled. "This is what humans do," he said. "We survive, we learn, we grow stronger. The Council thought exile would make us weak. It only made us better." Lucy Grant added, "Every challenge teaches us something new." The frontier is our classroom, and humans are quick learners. We will thrive wherever we go. Emma Brooks looked out at the stars. "And we will expand not because we want power, but because we cannot stop ourselves from growing. Humans do not accept limits." Ben Hall nodded. "And any species that underestimates us will see that we are more capable than they imagined. We survive, we adapt, we thrive." As humanity's influence grew on the frontier, they began to make connections with other species. Some formed alliances, trading knowledge, resources, and protection. Humans were careful, but fair. They showed strength and intelligence, and even species that once feared humans began to respect them. Paul Rivers documented every success. "These records will guide humanity for generations," he said. "We are building not just colonies, but a legacy." Nora King continued to train defense teams, preparing them for unknown threats. She taught patience, observation, and strategy. "Humans do not fight blindly," she said. "We plan, we learn, and we adapt. That is why we survive." Lucy Grant worked on new technology, combining alien and human knowledge. Ships became faster, stronger, and more efficient. Colonies could sustain themselves even in the harshest conditions. Humans were no longer limited by their origins. Every failure in the past had become a lesson, and every lesson had made them stronger. Alex called a meeting with all leaders of the human fleet. "We are no longer just survivors," he said. "We are a force in the frontier. The Council sent us away because they feared what we might become. They will see now. We are strong, intelligent, and united. Humans do not give up, and we do not forget." Emma Brooks added, "We expand because we must. Humans are explorers, learners, and survivors. Nothing will stop us from growing." Ben Hall smiled. "And we are ready for whatever the galaxy brings. Every challenge we face only makes us stronger. Humans are unstoppable when we work together." Lucy Grant said, "Our technology, our knowledge, our people, everything we have learned in the frontier has prepared us for the next stage. Humans are ready for anything." As the fleets moved further into unknown space, humans discovered strange energy sources, ancient alien artifacts, and planets filled with resources. Each discovery made them more capable and self-reliant. Humanity was no longer the species that the Council feared. They were a species that the galaxy could not ignore. Children born in the frontier learned the skills of survival, exploration, and adaptation from the beginning. They were taught to respect the unknown, to study every challenge, and to work together. Alex watched them and felt pride. Humanity's future was bright, not because it was safe, but because humans were ready for anything. Over time, the Council began to notice human activity in the regions beyond their borders. They had thought exile would weaken humanity, but instead, humans had grown stronger, faster, and more capable than anyone had expected. Whispers reached council chambers about fleets, colonies, and discoveries that no one could control. Alex knew that humanity's growth would eventually draw attention. But he also knew that humans were ready. They had survived exile, adapted to the harshest environments, learned from alien species, and built a network of colonies, ships, and knowledge that could not be ignored. One night, as two moons rose over a distant colony, Alex stood with Paul Rivers and Lucy Grant, looking at the stars. "The Council thought they could control us," he said quietly. "They thought exile would destroy humanity. They were wrong. We are stronger, wiser, and more united than ever." Lucy smiled.
"And we will continue to grow."
"Humans do not stop. We survive, we learn, we thrive." Exile was not a punishment. It was a beginning. Paul Rivers nodded. "And our story will be remembered. Humanity will leave its mark on the galaxy not through fear, but through strength and knowledge. The frontier has made us what we are." Alex turned to the view of the endless stars. And soon the Council will see that banishment was their mistake. Humans do not accept limits. We expand, we adapt, and we thrive. The galaxy has underestimated us for the last time. Humanity had become strong, united, and wise. The frontier was no longer a place of exile. It was a place of growth. Every colony, every fleet, every discovery had made humans more capable. They were no longer just survivors. They were leaders in the making. The stars stretched endlessly before them, filled with possibilities. And humanity was ready to embrace every one of them. Decades had passed since humanity had been banished by the Galactic Council. The fleets that left exile had grown into powerful armadas, and colonies stretched across dozens of star systems. Humanity had survived storms, hostile planets, strange creatures, and unknown technologies. They had grown stronger, wiser, and more united than ever before. Alex Carter stood on the bridge of the flagship, watching the stars of the Council's territory approach. For the first time, humans were returning to the borders they had been forced to leave. But they were not the same humans who had left all those years ago. They were leaders, explorers, and survivors. Their ships gleamed, powered by technologies they had discovered and perfected. Their fleets moved with precision, and their colonies were strong and self-sufficient. Beside Alex, Lisa Wright, the fleet's diplomat and commander, reviewed communications. "We approach with caution," she said. "We offer no aggression, only words. Humanity has grown, and the Council must understand why they were wrong to banish us."
Alex nodded. "They may fear us, but we do not seek war."
"We seek recognition, respect, and balance. Humans survive, and now we must show what we have become." The first message to the Council was simple but firm. It told of human fleets, colonies, technologies, and discoveries. It spoke of growth, adaptation, and survival. It invited the Council to meet and see for themselves that humanity had not only survived exile, but had become a force the galaxy could not ignore. Inside the Council chamber, the alien leaders whispered nervously. They had expected weakness, not this strength. Reports of human fleets, advanced technology, and thriving colonies had reached them months before. Now the humans themselves were at their doors, calm and confident. The Council did not know how to respond. Alex and Lisa entered the chamber with the human delegation. They stood quietly while the Council observed them. Other species that had once feared humans now watched with interest. Traders, explorers, and allied aliens were present, curious about what humans would do next. Alex spoke clearly. "We come not for revenge, not for war, but for recognition." Lisa Wright oversaw negotiations, ensuring humans were treated as equals. Alex coordinated fleets, making sure colonies received support and defense. Humanity's influence grew steadily, but carefully. Colonies that had once struggled to survive now thrived under human knowledge and technology. Lucy Grant led teams that shared energy systems, faster propulsion technologies, and advanced shields with allied species. Paul Rivers documented every exchange, ensuring that human knowledge could be used wisely and preserved for future generations. Nora King trained defense teams to work alongside alien forces. They shared strategies, tactics, and training methods. Humans were no longer isolated. They were part of a larger galactic network. Yet humans remained cautious. They remembered exile and knew the Council could act against them again. Preparation, knowledge, and strength were their safeguards. Jack Morris led exploration fleets to new, uncharted systems beyond the Council's borders. Each new system offered opportunities for resources, knowledge, and alliances. Humans moved carefully but boldly, ensuring that expansion was guided by intelligence and foresight. Every discovery strengthened humanity's position in the galaxy. Back on Earth, which had become a central hub for human operations, families celebrated the return of fleets and explorers. Children born in exile now grew up as leaders, engineers, and scientists. They learned the stories of banishment, survival, and growth. They learned that humanity could overcome even the most impossible challenges. Alex walked through one of the major colonies with Emma Brooks. "We have come far," Emma said, "from exile to recognition. The Council feared us, but we have proven that humans cannot be stopped."
Alex smiled, and this is only the beginning.
Humans will continue to explore, to learn, and to grow. The frontier taught us strength. Now the galaxy knows it too. Human fleets continued to expand, not as conquerors, but as explorers, teachers, and allies. Trade routes spread across dozens of systems. Colonies shared resources, knowledge, and technology. Humans did not act out of fear or revenge. They acted with vision, resilience, and unity. Some species still feared humanity, recalling the stories of exile. But even they could not deny human strength. The fleets were powerful, the colonies resilient, and the people intelligent and adaptable. Humans were not a threat to destroy. They were a species that could lead, protect, and innovate. One day, Alex received a message from an old council member. "Your growth has exceeded all expectations." Skay! Humans are no longer exiles. You are a model of survival, knowledge, and expansion. We hope to learn from you and work together for a better galaxy. Alex replied, "Humans will share knowledge, protect allies, and continue to grow. We remember the past, but we focus on the future. Humanity thrives because we adapt, learn, and unite. We offer friendship to all who seek it." As humans continued to expand, they discovered strange planets with resources and life forms unlike anything known before. Each discovery strengthened their colonies and fleets. Engineers, scientists, and explorers worked together, combining human ingenuity with alien knowledge. The frontier had taught humans to survive, but now it taught them to lead. Lucy Grant developed a system to generate clean energy from a type of alien crystal. This technology allowed colonies to grow independently, even on harsh planets. Nora King's defense teams trained aliens in combat techniques that emphasized strategy and adaptation. Jack Morris discovered new creatures that taught humans about resilience and cooperation. Paul Rivers recorded every achievement, creating a library of knowledge for generations. Alex Carter realized that humanity's exile had been the greatest lesson. The Council had tried to weaken them, but humans had learned to survive, adapt, and thrive. Now, humanity had returned not as victims, but as leaders. They were respected, not feared. They were admired, not ignored. Lisa Wright coordinated diplomacy, ensuring that humans were allies to those who sought cooperation and equals to those who demanded respect. The Council, once fearful, now looked to humans for guidance and partnership. Humanity had transformed exile into opportunity, survival into strength, and fear into respect. One evening, as two suns set over a thriving human colony, Alex Carter stood with Lisa Wright, Emma Brooks, and Ben Hall. Children played, engineers worked, and fleets prepared for new journeys. "We have returned," Alex said quietly. "Not as victims, not as exiles, but as humans who refuse to be limited. The Council sent us away, but we embrace the frontier instead of loss." Now the galaxy sees our strength. Emma Brooks smiled. We survived, we grew, and we thrived. Humans do not give up. Humans do not accept limits. And humans will always adapt. Ben Hall added, and every colony, every fleet, every discovery reminds the galaxy that humanity is unstoppable when we work together. Lucy Grant looked at the stars, and we will continue to expand, explore, and learn. Humans do not stop. We thrive because we must, and because we are capable. Alex Carter turned to the view of the endless stars. The Council once banished us. They thought it would break us. Instead, it made us stronger. Humanity's story is not one of loss. It is one of growth, strength, and endless possibility. The galaxy has underestimated us for the last time. The fleets prepared for new journeys beyond the Council's borders. Colonies flourished, alliances formed, and knowledge spread. Humanity was no longer exiled. They were leaders, explorers, and innovators. The frontier had taught them resilience, and the galaxy now recognized their power. As humans looked to the stars, they knew one thing: the future belonged to those who could adapt, survive, and grow. Humanity had turned banishment into freedom, loss into opportunity, and fear into respect. They were no longer victims of exile. They were masters of their own destiny. The galaxy stretched endlessly before them, full of possibilities, and humanity was ready to embrace every one of them. Humanity was banished because the Council feared us. Exile was meant to weaken us. Instead, it made us stronger. We have survived, adapted, and grown. We now seek a place among the stars, not as subjects, but as equals.
A murmur ran through the chamber.
The Council had expected pleading, begging, or silence. Instead, humans spoke with confidence and calm. Alex continued, "We respect life, balance, and cooperation. We have learned much in the frontier, and we offer knowledge, trade, and protection to those willing to join us. We seek allies, not enemies. But understand this: we will not be limited again." Lisa Wright stepped forward. "Humans do not seek to dominate, but we do not accept fear as law. We have thrived where others could not. We have built fleets, colonies, and technologies beyond the Council's borders. Recognize our place, or the galaxy will face a species that refuses to be controlled." The Council conferred in silence. They had never faced a species like humans. Exile had been meant as punishment, but humans had turned it into opportunity. The whispers of alien species around the chamber grew louder. Some species openly supported humanity, impressed by their growth and resilience. Finally, the lead counselor spoke. "Humans, you have exceeded our expectations. You have survived exile and grown stronger than we believed possible. The Council must reconsider its judgment. You are no longer a threat to contain. You are a force to respect. We offer you recognition, cooperation, and membership among the Council's allies." Alex nodded. "Humans accept recognition and cooperation. We offer the same to all who wish to learn, grow, and survive with us. We do not forget the past, but we build the future." In the following weeks, humans began establishing trade routes, scientific exchanges, and diplomatic connections with Council members and allied species. Humanity had survived its first year in exile, but the galaxy beyond the Council's borders was vast, strange, and full of dangers. Alex Carter stood on the bridge of the main command ship, watching the new stars drift past. They were different from the familiar constellations of home. Some shone in colors he had never seen before, and some flickered like tiny fires in the darkness. Every new system brought both hope and risk. Lucy Grant worked beside him, checking energy readings. "These stars are unusual," she said. "Some have strong radiation, and the planets here are not like what we know. We need to be careful." Alex nodded. "We always adapt. Humans have survived worse. This is just another challenge." The fleet moved slowly, exploring the unknown systems. Jack Morris led small scout teams to planets that might support life. They were looking for water, breathable air, and safe ground for colonies. Many of the worlds were harsh. Some were frozen, some burned, with constant storms, and some were rocky wastelands. Yet humans did not despair. Each challenge became a lesson. On a small frozen planet, Emma Brooks led a team to set up a temporary outpost. The wind cut like knives and snow buried their equipment quickly, but humans worked together. They built shelters, set up power generators, and drilled for water beneath the ice. Children helped carry supplies, and adults shared knowledge. No one complained. Everyone knew they had to survive. Meanwhile, Ben Hall supervised the construction of new ships. The fleet was growing, but it needed constant repair and adaptation. Alien technology found in derelict ships and abandoned stations was carefully studied and sometimes repurposed. Humans were learning to make machines stronger, faster, and more efficient. Every new system offered materials they could use. Alex visited one of the colonies on a desert planet. The sun was harsh, and the sand stretched for miles.